Hey guys, welcome back to another Battlefront 2 hero guide. Today we're going to be going over the small, hard to hit hero Master Yoda. I'm going to be going through everything that has to do with Yoda, including stats, abilities, star cards, and more. You can skip to whatever section you want by looking at the timestamps below. By the end of this video, the goal is to make it so that you know everything about the hero and all the best stats for him. That way you can destroy with him. Yoda may be one of the more difficult heroes, especially in HVV, but trust me when I say he can be really good. If this video does help you out or you just enjoy it, then make sure to leave a like. Also subscribe if you want to see more videos just like this. But now, getting into the video. So the first thing I'm going to be going over is Yoda's base stats. These definitely aren't his strongest suit. He has a below average health of 700, which isn't horrible and you can definitely be fine with it. He also has the average health regen of 250 with an also average regen delay of 5 seconds. So while his health isn't great, you need to remember that Yoda is really hard to hit, saving him from taking damage you normally would take. You also have his presence ability, which gives him a health buff of 150. Yoda's weapon is the one he created himself. It does an average 125 damage to the front and 150 damage to the back. It does deal enough damage, but he also has a slow swing speed of 1.6 seconds, making his damage per second lower than others. For his stamina, he can attack a low time of 12 attacks and block 10 swings. Once again, not great, but it's enough for him to do okay. Yoda has a pretty solid set of abilities, already good for helping out the team in defending objectives, yet also strong enough to attack. Yoda's left ability is Unleash. This is a push of force by Yoda that deals damage and knocks down enemies. Yoda can charge this up by blocking attacks, resulting in more damage and a bigger range for Unleash. It starts out with a small 110 damage, but when fully charged up, that goes to a high 190. The cooldown then is just a short 12 seconds. For my keynotes, this is by far the best way to take out multiple enemies with Yoda. He doesn't have any other abilities to do so, and his low damage and lightsaber hitbox make it really hard for him to take out multiple enemies by just swinging. So if you're coming up on a group of people, then go ahead and use Unleash to knock them down and make them much easier to kill. Whenever you can, also try to charge up Unleash. The damage is really helpful, and on that group of enemies, if Unleash is charged up, then you can one-shot most of them. I also find this ability really useful as a getaway. If there are some powerful enemies on you and your block is breaking, then you can just use this ability to push them off you and then find some cover and regroup. Yoda's middle ability is Presence. When this ability is active, Yoda and his allies will be granted extra health. It grants 150 health to heroes and 70 health to troopers. If Yoda also activates Presence when he is being frozen by something, then he will break out of it. The ability lasts for 8 seconds and has a decent cooldown of 20 seconds. While that time is long, this ability is really good, so it balances out. For my keynotes, use this ability when you're in a tough spot. For most abilities that grant extra powers to a character, I always recommend activating it before you go into enemies, as that maximizes the use. But with Yoda and his small hitbox, most of the time when you go after a few enemies, you will be fine. So save this ability when you get into a bit of hot water, so you won't lose too much health and you can escape to safety. Another nice thing about this ability is that you can activate it quicker if you jump swing. To do this, just jump and do a swing in the air, and as you're swinging, if you activate Presence, you won't have to go through the full animation, which can be very helpful sometimes. Yoda's right ability is Dash Attack. Yoda can leap forward and do damage to anyone he hits, while also not being able to be blocked. He can use this ability twice, but that can go up to 3 times with Star Cards. It does 85 damage for each hit and has a cooldown of 5 seconds per dash. For my keynotes, use this ability to delay the regen of an enemy hero. If you've done some damage to an enemy lightsaber hero and if you don't want them to just back out and regen their health, then use this ability. It will go through blocks, allowing you to deal even more damage and to stop the regen. But be careful with this ability since you can also be hit. It's not just an easy way to deal damage. So if you want to regen your health and you need to get health back, then it's usually not smart to use this ability, as people will just do damage to you and put you in an even worse spot. While Yoda isn't your guy for getting the max amount of kills quickly, he is good for playing the objective and staying alive. So you need to play him like that, not as someone that's super aggressive. You definitely won't do your best like that. For my tips, find ways to pick off enemies instead of just going into a group of enemies and just killing them all. Pick them off as they come out. Other heroes like Luke can easily go in and knock them all down or swing spam his way through them all. So with Yoda, go in and find a lower amount of enemies and kill them all like that. When taking on enemies, remember that you can't rely on your abilities. Unleash might be able to get a few people, but it isn't too powerful, and dash attack also isn't the best because of the slow leap and small hitbox. Presence can save you some health, but you won't kill enemies with that. So you're gonna have to find ways to take out enemies with your slow swinging lightsaber. One method that can be useful for taking out enemies quicker is doing jump swings. Jump swings give Yoda a bigger hitbox to hit people while also doing it faster. Yoda can jump and swing quickly then do a normal attack quicker than 2 normal attacks. So basically what you want to do is jump around from enemy to enemy. It's also important to use your small hitbox to your advantage. When you're running at the enemy, keep dodging and jumping around so they simply can't hit you, or at least they have a very hard time dealing good damage. While you're running, also constantly find cover to hide in. Then pop out, and with you being so small and hard to see, you can easily ambush people. Next are Star Cards. Yoda Star Cards can also massively help him out. So for my first Star Card, I have Enduring Presence. This card allows Presence to be active for a longer duration of time. Presence is of course a very useful ability to yourself and your teammates, so having it active longer is a nice little boost. The second card is Earned It I Have. This card allows Unleash to charge up quicker. Unleash could be a very good ability when charging up, so having it charged up and ready to go quicker is very helpful. The last card is Agility. This card gives Yoda 1 extra dash attack. Yoda's dash is another useful way to take out enemies, so having 1 extra is a nice boost. Lastly, for Trooper game modes are the best maps for Yoda in Galactic Assault. The first map is Kashyyyk. This map is absolutely perfect for Yoda as it's a great place to pick off enemies and has lots of cover. The first phase is great for kill streaks and the last 2 phases were designed for him. The next map is Endor as it's very similar to Kashyyyk. There's lots of cover and it's great for picking off enemies, along with Yoda being a big help in capturing the objective on the last phase. Lastly is Naboo, as always, since it's the perfect map for all heroes, and I have to recommend playing on this map with Yoda. The last topic to go over today is Yoda in hero modes. Yoda definitely doesn't shine in these modes, but once again he can be used very well if you play him correctly. My first tip is to be a team player. You want to stick with your teammates and give them health. Unleash and Dash Attack are also really solid abilities for helping others. Usually when Yoda goes out into 1v1s, it's hard for him to win those battles. To win those battles though, you need to keep moving. You can't just hold block. Yoda cannot block many times and his block tends to fail a lot. So keep jumping, dodging, and dashing around, similar to how you want to be hard to hit in Trooper game modes. Jump attacks can also be useful here, as that's difficult to parry and you can do good damage with them. But Yoda just needs a pretty basic playstyle. You can't be really aggressive with your attacks, but you also don't want to be blocking a lot. For the best star cards in Heroes vs Villains, the first one is Agility. Having a way to go through blocks is really useful, so why not be able to use it more? Next is Lightsaber Mastery. This gives Yoda extra stamina. With Yoda having a lower amount of stamina, having more of it is really useful, especially since Yoda can't be very reliant on his abilities to deal damage. The last card is Opposing the Dark Side. This card gives Yoda's lightsaber more damage, and with Yoda not being able to do a massive amount of damage, this is definitely helpful. The last thing I'm going to be going over is heroes to watch out for. The first card is Count Dooku. His damage with his lightsaber will rip through Yoda's blocks and abilities. One mistake against Dooku can seriously hurt you. The second hero is Bossk. Bossk can of course do a lot of damage with his grenades, which can be a bit hard to counter with Yoda. Along with this, Bossk is hard to hit. His jumps and dodges can be pretty easily be avoided because of Yoda's slow swing speed and his small hitbox. Bossk can literally pretty much just jump over Yoda. The last hero is of course Darth Vader. Sometimes with Vader's tanky health and his middle ability active, it can be extremely hard to do decent damage, so going against him will be a very hard kill. But that is all from my Master Hero Yoda guide. Yoda may seem difficult to play, but once you understand his playstyle, then you will get a lot better. Because of this, Yoda is a hard hero to teach. There aren't really techniques for him that will allow you to dominate, unlike other heroes. But hopefully this video helped you out. Remember to turn on that notifications bell for more videos just like this. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.